As was to be expected following the breakout success of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite in the last 18 months, more established franchises have stepped up to the Ucky to try their hand at the increasingly popular Battle Royale mode. Call of Duty Black Ops 4's Blackout mode is the latest effort and the first in a AAA franchise. So as you take your first tentative steps onto Blackout's Battle Royale map, we've assembled some valuable tips to help you get that win. It's not easy, no, but with these Herculean tidbits of information, you'll be a pro in no time. The first thing you're going to want to do in Blackout is nail the initial drop from the sky. Well, actually, I lie. The first thing you're actually going to want to do in Blackout is head into the options and change two things. Firstly, change the pickup item option from hold to pick up to press to pick up. You're welcome. Next, change the map from a circle to a square. It actually makes a big difference as the latter isn't constantly spinning around like a dreidel. After that though, the next thing you want to nail is how to wingsuit properly. The best way to get insane distance and a quicker drop is to jump out the chopper, push down on the stick and spear yourself towards the ground. When you hit around 68 to 70 meters per second, pull back. Now you can pretty much reach most areas on the map from the drop, gliding at around 60 to 65 meters per second. It could be the difference between dropping in an area and getting a gun and not getting one and becoming somebody else's fodder. There's a good chance you've already played a few BR games in your lifetime now, what with their rise in popularity and whatnot. But just because something is the case there, it's not necessarily the case in Blackout. Remember, Blackout is its own beast. That means no longer do you have to stop still to heal, as was the case in Fortnite and PUBG. You can do that while on the run in Blackout. Heck, if you want to run an assailant around in circles while you heal, by all means, go ahead. You can turn the tables pretty quickly if you're a decent juker. Same goes for reviving a teammate in duos or quads as well. You can actually do that while laying prone on the ground, leaving you less likely to take a headshot. Heck, you can even run in circles around your downed teammate while reviving if you're skilled or crazy enough. Speaking of headshots, they're king in Blackout as well, as helmets don't technically exist. Well, for the most part. The only time a headshot with a sniper rifle isn't going to down someone or kill them is when they have level 3 armor. The only armor set in the game to come with a helmet, and they're pretty damn tough to find as well. Also, remember to run, jump and slide to make yourself a more annoying target to hit as well. It'll save you on more than one occasion. Oh, and don't forget you can actually shoot guns while underwater this time too. In short, everything you've learned in other Battle Royale games, forget it. I know we literally just said to forget everything you learned in Battle Royale games, what, like just a few seconds ago, but that's strictly not true. There are things that actually carry over into Blackout and can mean the difference between a top 20 finish and a win. The obvious one is don't shoot unless you can finish off a kill. The worst thing you can do in Blackout, after all, is to give your position away. The map isn't actually that big, so that's worth bearing in mind. You should also know when a battle is winnable. Does your opponent have a better position than you? Are you sandwiched between two players or teams? Are you struggling to gain a foothold in the fight? Then don't be afraid to retreat and then reposition. Use those natural hills, the undulations, the high ground to give yourself an advantage. If you're playing duos and quads, then callouts and clear communication is also key. Use that compass at the top of the screen and be concise with directions. A call of "he's on the left" is no good if you're patrolling an area and constantly changing directions. 24 north to the left of the blue building is a much better callout. These are simple but effective rules for Battle Royale games in general. So actually don't forget everything you've learned elsewhere. What we will say though is don't use the vehicles unless you have to, especially because Blackout has homing missiles in it, meaning it's never been easier to take down a chopper or even a quad. While in PUBG's the vehicles are essential because of the size of the map, they are not in Blackout. Getting in one effectively paints a big old target on your ass, and this time there's no frying pan to save it. Right, let's talk guns, as let's be honest, they're kind of important. Knowing what to use and when can be a little daunting at first when you get into Blackout, but fear not, we've got you covered. In terms of the best guns, it's more of getting the right tool for the right job. So, if you want a sniper rifle, you can't go wrong with the Outlaw. That's probably a close second to the Paladin, but they appear more frequently. The KN-57 is a great rifle for most encounters, as is the VAPR and a personal favourite of ours, the ICR. The Maddox is strong too in the early game for short to mid-range encounters, but it isn't great against armour, so replace that when you can. If you're after a burst rifle, you could do a lot worse than the Swordfish. Just whatever you do, don't use the LMGs. They are bloody woeful. Oh, and remember to get as many attachments as you possibly can for your guns. They can turn them from decent guns to god-tier guns in an instant. That's why the golden guns are so decent, not only because they're fully stacked out, but because if you don't like the particular golden gun you pick up, you can strip it for the accessories to put on your favourite gun. In terms of actual fighting, yes, there is bullet drop, and yes, you do have to lead, but it's not as severe as it is in PUBG, for instance. So that's also worth bearing in mind. As is the fact you can shoot through certain surfaces as well. All are key to using to your advantage if you want to be successful in Blackout. It wouldn't be a Call of Duty mode without perks and gadgets, and Blackout is chock full of them. Correct use of the gadgets can mean the difference between life and death, literally. The grapple hook is not only a really handy tool to get the jump on your foes, but it can also be a handy tool to get you out of a bind as well. Same with a sensor dart. Use it to weed out campers on the offensive, or use it to mark foes on the minimap when you're hunkered down. You're going to want to get a bit handy with a combat axe too, as it's a one-hit kill if you land a successful shot. And it can also be a silent kills on zombies too, if you're looking to clear them and grab a mystery box without anybody hearing you. Use the RC car to spot foes, use the barricade to protect yourself when you revive squad mates in duos or quads. Heck, you can even use it to stop a vehicle dead in its tracks if it's trying to run you over. In terms of other essential kit, trauma kits are the only way to boost your health to 200, and from a perk perspective, pick them up and use them whenever you get them, apart from Awareness, Paranoia, Dead Silence and Skulker. These are the pick of the bunch and should be used in critical situations. They alone can hand you a huge edge over your opponents. Right, now you got the basics down and you're competing, it's time to push on to the next level. And while you can grab a supply drop for some sick goodies, one of the more predictable ways to get some of the best loot is the mystery boxes littered around the map. There are 5 dotted around the map where Call of Duty Zombies and its new Battle Royale mode collide. These 5 locations, as indicated by a glowing blue beam of light, are as follows. In a boxing gym between Fracking Town and Turbine. In the Asylum to the far right of the map. In the Graveyard to the southeast of the Asylum. The Diner to the west of Array, and near the lighthouse at the far southeast corner of the map. Go there, shoot a lot of zombies, and then open up the mystery crate for some stellar goodies. Simples. That said, if you are going to do this, beware that gunfire is likely to attract some fellow Battle Royalers as well, so be prepared to wage war on multiple fronts. If you are successful though, you'll be well set up with some of the best gear in the game to take your fight to the other survivors in the run up to the final showdown. Plus, some of the zombies can drop trauma kits too, which is never a bad thing. Just make sure the coast is clear before looting. In PUBG and Fortnite you get the occasional campers, but it seems that Blackout has literally taken it to the next level. There are campers everywhere in this here mode, literally everywhere. Shotguns and grenades, from 9bangs to concussion grenades, are great ways to clear buildings if you hear opponents running around inside, or even reloading their guns. Use headphones folks, as they do give you an advantage. If you want to camp yourself, it's okay, we won't judge you too much. Just make sure of the trip mines and perks like Awareness to give yourself the upper hand. Sensor darts are obviously brilliant for weeding out campers, and if you're feeling particularly cocky, slap a sensor dart on a helicopter and take it to the skies, creating your very own mobile UAV, well, manned UAV. Anyway, clever, huh? What we're saying is be careful, never rush into a building and be cautious, otherwise you might find yourself on the wrong end of a hammering. So there you have it folks, 7 tips to make you a pro at Call of Duty Black Ops 4's Blackout mode. Well, that was more like 50, but you know, 7 sounds much better. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers folks, thanks, bye.